ECSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all your sports books and track all your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You could also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as it's the best account on the platform. Head to App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire and download the app.
Jared, hey, we're gonna need you to tone it down with the Summer Friday thing, okay?
What are you talking about?
Well, for one, it's not summer anymore.
Oh, really?
Coconut. Also, who is this?
I'm the caddy.
Oh, he's my intern.
Sorry, intern. I'm his intern.
Yeah, he's doing a great job.
No golfing in the office, okay? Summer Fridays are over. You can keep the Hawaiian shirt, but the rest of this stuff, all right? Are you grilling?
Oh, yeah. Did you want a burger or a hot dog?
No, grilling in the office.
That's a good point. We should take this outside.
No, that don't. You put that right back down.
Yo, it's all in the hips.
Oh, dude, come on, we gotta go. Let's go.
Excuse me, Mr. DJ.
Hey, check this out. We got a great show coming your way.
From the ECSI Sports Studios, the #1 sports information program in America, the Breakfast Bankroll, with your host, the sports broker, Jeff Dawson.
Good morning, sports fans from all around the globe. I am the host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and it is great to be back. Tuesday, March 11th, 2025. Beautiful day on sunny Cape Cod as we actually, Boston could hit the 60s today. We're going to be in the low 50s. Great day to get outside, all you locals, and enjoy the fresh air and let the madness begin, as it's championship conference week right here. A couple teams cut the nets down last night and punched their ticket into the big dance on Sunday around 6:20. You'll be looking at your bracket and you're going to say, okay, how is Duke going to lose? Or how is Florida going to lose? So that's the madness. That's the fun of it. And that's why we're here, our 10th year of public service here. Of course, I'd like to give a proud shout out to our partnerships. WagerWire. Head on over to Google Play. Download the app. It is free. Travis, Zach, Guy, Amber, Holly, Matt, Jay, myself will take good care of you, I promise. Viva Tequila Seltzer, 6 flavors in all. Shout out again to CT Betts and his baby boy last week. The East Coast is cuckoo for coconut. And last but never least, excuse me, AtlantaSteaksAndSeafood.com. First, head on over to Facebook. Introduce yourself to Terry Smith. While you're there, jump on back to AtlantaSteaksAndSeafood.com. Steaks, chops, seafood, appetizers, wines, you name it, he's got it. If you look on the front page, there's 4 subscription plans. Whether you didn't eat well in January or February, you still got time. 4 subscriptions and all. Take a look at them. Check a box, and every 30 days, you'll go to the front door and Terry will have this beautiful box of whatever you decided. Last night, I had a beautiful New York strip. Earlier in the week, I had a rack of lamb. I had a cowgirl steak earlier than that. So he takes great, great care of you, I promise. And if you need some customer service and help, ask a question, ask away. Terry will be there as well. As I'm waiting for Andrew to tiptoe into the backstage here, and he is not here, so I'm going to send him a friendly text here and say, "Hey, what's up here?" We have the NCAA Insiders on after him as well. So a busy, busy morning here. We're going to talk midday baseball as well. I'm going to look at the board, a busy, busy board. And actually, they're in Las Vegas at the T-Mobile. It's kind of funny. 12:30 tip-off, Cincinnati and Oklahoma State. And the funny is that's 9:30 in the morning. So you got a full afternoon and evening at T-Mobile. So if you're in Vegas, you're up early, tiptoe over there. Currently, Cincinnati overnight opened at 6, now 7 or 7.5 in some spots. They lost to Oklahoma State on Saturday, so a good revenge spot there. And under over a 138.5, still 138.5 there. I think Cincinnati will kind of flex its muscles here. A good bounce back spot for them there as well. I think their team total's floating around 72. If they control the pace, like I think they will, they should be able to tiptoe over that. Colorado and then TCU opened at 1.5, now 2.5. Right now, TCU a tough season overall. Same with Colorado. Both teams have struggled. Ken Palm has TCU 67-66. TCU 16-15 overall, and they too lost to Colorado on Saturday by 20, yet still favored there. A Colorado team that is playing better, guys. 12-19, I say playing better. Oh, they just beat TCU. They lost to Kansas by 7. They lost to Kansas State by 9, and Texas Tech by 16. And then they beat TCU on senior day there. So kind of interesting there. If TCU, like we said with Cincinnati, gets that bounce back spot as well. And the nightcap, Arizona State, Kansas State. Tough. Bobby Hurley, I don't know if he'll be back next year. This Arizona State team depleted down to 6 or 7 players. I know they got us earlier last week on a half-court shot at halftime. We had Arizona minus 10.5, up 11 with 4 seconds left. Inbounded, heaved it from half court and swish, and it landed on 8. So still a little salty about that one, of course. They're opened at 5-point underdogs, now 6.5 there with a 143 at the Circa. Good morning to Mr. Benson and Mr. Stevens there. And the nightcap, Central Florida, Utah, and again, I sound like a broken record here. 2 teams definitely struggled again this year. Pull them both up here for you. Utah. Ken Palm has Utah 81-80, by the way. Utah 16-15. They've lost 4 of their last 5. Their only win to Arizona State. Oh, look who has entered the building. Must have been a tough makeup day here. So hold on. Let's bring him in. Andrew McInnis.
Hair and makeup, eh?
I don't know. Here I'm like, all right, what did I do wrong again here? And then it's okay. How you doing, Andrew?
Not too bad. I guess I was up too late celebrating my my Maple Leafs win, up 3-0, and then they blow the lead, end up having to win in a shootout in typical Leafs fashion. Jeff, that's why I can't cheer for that team. That's why I refuse to ever cheer for that team. And they had me up too late and blow that 3-0 lead. But doing pretty good. Excited to watch this this playoff race, the wild card race right now. And it's funny because in the Western Conference, as you and I have talked about before, it's not really as much a playoff race as it more so is about figuring out where everyone's going to fit. We already know who's going to make the playoffs in the West, but it's about kind of who's going to fit where. And how awesome will it be if we end up getting Dallas versus Colorado first round?
Not good if you got two. The funny thing is you got two futures, so one's going to move on. It set up perfect last year, where we bought Dallas in January. We had some Edmonton stock as well, of course, and you know you look at those brackets, and then of course there we go. We're going to get someone to the finals there, which again we were fortunate enough to have Florida. So once we're in the cup again, we hold hands, sing kumbaya, and then everything's perfect. The West is kind of funny. Colorado has really looked the part. I think they're going to be a tough out. We know Edmonton's going to focus. So what a bad effort by Edmonton last night against Buffalo. I don't give out a big numbers juice. I hate it. I despise it. If you go to run to the window and lay a 160 and you lose, well, you got to almost go 2-0 the last two games, and then you're going to be up 40 cents. So I always say the risk button is your friend. What do you make of that effort? I mean, I know we're just trying to get ready for the play, yada, but this is a game that you figured, geez, they're going to score at least 4 here. You're going to find a way to get the win, but to lose 3-2, kind of ugly there.
Well, I mean, especially with we're just talking about it with Dallas getting better at the trade deadline, right? With Mikko Rantanen being added, with the LA Kings playing the kind of hockey they are, with Vegas doing what they're doing, with Colorado adding multiple pieces. I mean, Colorado added the most at the deadline. The Boston Bruins got rid of the most at the deadline. The Oilers pick up like a couple players, Jeff. Like, I don't know how I feel about the guys that they added. So their additions didn't really do too much. Wallman's a pretty good pickup defensively. They picked up a couple guys, but right now I think we're going back to the old habits with the Oilers. And there's two things. Number one, they can't leave their own end in a good way. It's very unorganized. It looks like it's just like they're not getting these good zone exits. But I think you and I both know what's really going on with this Oilers team right now. And it's the same thing we used to talk about years ago with one team that's right behind you there. Marchand, Pasternak, Bergeron, Hyman, McDavid, Draisaitl. If it's not those three, who else is it right now? I don't see anybody else scoring.
Well, it's funny you brought up Marchand, and Marchand did his press conference. Bruins played the Panthers without Marchand. They traded him to Florida, of course, one of the last trades at the deadline, and it was a very somber Brad Marchand wearing his Panther behind the Panthers logo and stuff, of course. But late last night from the locals, here's a shocker. Sweeney went to him. I guess he's been making $6+ million every year. Offered him a 3-year extension. So they basically offered him 3 for 18, and he turned it down. And good friend and colleague, Mr. Felger, kind of laughed at him. He's like, dude, what? A, he was pissed that they even offered him an extension, but B, turning it down. He's like, dude, what are you smoking?
That's the thing. It's like part of the fan bases, part of hockey fans think that Marchand was disrespected, and part of the fan base thinks you got to sign that long-term deal. So it's kind of interesting. But I think that that part that I read about the whole face-to-face meeting that he requested, he wanted a meeting. He wanted to see where the Bruins stood. Kind of, in my opinion, though, Jeff, you got to sign back your captain. You got to sign back your captain. You got to sign back the guy you made the captain of your team. But if he doesn't want to take that huge discount, then let him walk. But going to the defending Stanley Cup champions, that's tough.
Well, he's known as the Rat, and then there's the city of rats right there. He fits right in, but the return on him was short because A, he's injured. And so they're not sure. They'll probably get him for the start of the playoffs. He'll fit in perfect there. A great addition for Florida there. And then you're a free agent. So now if you have a good playoff and you have a great run there, then you can go to Florida. And listen, when you're on a sinking ship, it doesn't matter where you're sitting. whether you're sitting at the top, the middle, or the bottom, you're going to sink. And so the Bruins finally had to make that decision to rip. The only thing that they left in the cupboard was McAvoy, and they left Swayman. And no one was taking Swayman's contract as of right now. And McAvoy, since he's gotten paid, has just been a shell of themselves. The big thing in Boston now, is this a rebuild, reload, and we'll be back to where we used to be next year, or is this going to be a 2, 3, 4 year rebuild here, Andrew?
And Jeff, if you were to set odds right now, what number would you start it at for him to be the next captain, McAvoy? Would it be minus 350, minus 1,000? What would it be for McAvoy to be the next captain?
Who else are they going to turn to? Bobby Orr and Ray Bork isn't walking through that door.
Yeah. I mean, Pasta's only going to be there for so long, I guess, right? You got to go with the younger guy. Yeah, you're right. That's the thing. And the funny thing is, though, it's the LTIR for Florida, right? So what's Florida going to do with some of these guys next year? Then there's going to be no cap space. You know, Kachuk's walking through that door the first day of the playoffs. He's pulling the Tampa Bay. He's pulling the Vegas Golden Knights. He's going to get healthy. Magically, it's like The Undertaker. All of a sudden, he's going to just start walking. He's going to just rise up through that coffin and be better again. And the Florida Panthers are going to go through and walk through that Eastern Conference again. And, you know, Carolina, you and I have talked about Carolina for so long. How does that GM still have a job right now over there in Carolina? I mean, the fact that you trade for Mikko Rantanen without him signing there, he said there were 4 teams he'd play for. You know, Dallas, I think, what was it? Dallas, Edmonton, Maple Leafs, and who was the other one? Florida. Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you get a piece that's going to really give you that big push, and yet there you go. Yeah, he's walking out that door now. Obviously, going to probably help out the West and Dallas there. Before I get to the slate, big slate today, I want you to break down some pucks, props, and thoughts, of course, there. Last night, kind of a playoff feeling with the reeling Detroit Red Wings traveling to Ottawa. We had the team total for Ottawa over 3.5. Thanks for playing 2-1 winner. Ottawa wins 2-1. They do not cash the team total there. But Ullmark stood on his head, about 50 shots, and they actually, Red Wings scored. But the clock had struck 0. It looked like it was going to go to overtime, but they waved it off there. Thoughts on the reeling Red Wings? And if Ottawa gets in, and we talk about hot goaltending, are they a threat in the first round?
You know, I was talking with a friend of mine. I think I saw like 50-1 was like the highest number I saw on the Senators like a couple weeks ago about them, you know, going all the way to the Stanley Cup. But we talk about the trade from Ullmark, and, you know, one of Swayman or Ullmark was going to leave. Where was Ullmark going to go? I'm sorry, Jeff. I'm battling this morning. It has been a tough morning for me. The thing is, when you trade for a goaltender, you don't really care what they do for you in November. You don't really care what they do for you in January. That's the first game they're going to be like, that's why we traded for him. What was it? You know, 47 shots, 1 goal. And like you said, that goal that didn't count, that is just brutal if you're a fan of the Red Wings. But when I look at this Ottawa Senators team right now, I think of a team that's just finding a way, Jeff, to win, whether it's overtime, whether it's regulation. You know, Dylan Cousins, even though it was an empty netter, pretty much wide open net, he scores the game winner, and he's the guy they picked up at the trade deadline. So, you know how they're showing live betting lines more and more on TV, and during the intermission, the broadcast I was watching showed like live update during the game, minus 420 to make the playoffs for the Ottawa Senators. So I was like, whoa, minus 420. Like they're, you know, they only have 62 points or whatever it is. But that's how you know how confident they are on the Ottawa Senators. So I just think that goaltending is the biggest difference. They're finding a way to win. And, you know, the funny thing is, yesterday on the show on Puck Time, I talked about the under, because some of these games, I find that if you look at the board right now for today, you look at some of these divisional games, the that might go over the total, and some games that might go under. And I feel like the games that might go under are the ones that are the teams that really need a point. Not every time, but like the Columbus, New York was 7-3, so not every time. But some of these games, like yesterday, it was like it felt like a playoff game, right? It felt like a playoff series yesterday between those two teams.
You know, and playoffs mean who's the hot goaltender. But again, we'll see nothing but 5.5. We saw that a couple of weeks leading up to the Four Nations tournament. And I looked tonight, 3, 6, 9, 11 games in all overnight, not 1 6.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sixes, and the rest 5.5s. And then we get to the morning lines here, and not 1 6.5, and actually only 1, 2, 3, 4 flat sixes. Columbus, New Jersey, Vegas, Pittsburgh, Washington, Anaheim, Nashville, San Jose. The rest 5.5. So again, almost playoff hockey-esque. But as I like to do right now, there's 11 games. The board is yours.
Well, Jeff, you know, we took a look at the Bruins in their first game post trade deadline. I had the over 5.5, and you said to me, "Well, good luck with the goals." And we were both kind of joking around over text, like, where are those goals going to come from? And then the Bruins scored all the goals, 4-0 for the Bees. That's a typical case of a team rallying around the loss of all their players that got traded away. It's like rallying around an injury. It's like rallying around, the coach getting fired. Can they do that back-to-back games? I just don't think they can. And Florida's a really deep team. They're going to shut them down defensively, but more importantly, they've got a lot of lines that can score. I'm seeing plus 100, plus 105 on Florida to get to 4. I like that team total. And let's not forget the good goaltending we saw out of Boston against Tampa in that last game as well. And I just think this is going to be a little bit of a different performance here defensively for the Boston Bruins. So overnight, when I saw those team totals, one of the ones that I looked at was fading the Bruins after that. Because how many people were excited to go against the Bruins after the trade deadline, right? Yeah. How many puck line tickets do you think they wrote at every sports book for the Tampa Bay Lightning the day after the trade deadline? But I think it's the day after the first game when that, spark is gone away and now reality has set in. Like, I'm sure for David Pastrnak, it was like, okay, this is kind of weird. I don't have Marchand. I don't have Coyle. I don't have these guys. But now it's like, wow, these guys are all gone. So that's going to be hard for them. So I do like the Florida Panthers team total over 3.5. When we talk about the Vegas Golden Knights and the Pittsburgh Penguins, this might shock some people, but I'm going to look for back-to-back unders in Pittsburgh games. So I saw a 3-1 win for them against the Wild. They did go under 4-0. It was the last meeting against Vegas. That was just in early March. And I feel like Pittsburgh right now is just realizing they're like a soccer team that knows they're pretty much bottom of the pack. They have to park the bus, Jeff. They have to sit back and really play hard defense and try and win low-scoring games. If Pittsburgh tries to play first to 4 with anybody or pond hockey, they are screwed. There is no choice for them but to play good defensive hockey. I'm seeing 6.5 minus 120. There were some 6s overnight, so it has taken money to the over. I do like the under in that one. Of course, Vegas is off that wild game against LA, where that one finished 6-5 in favor of the Kings. So because of that, I think they're going to be looking for more of a defensive game as well. So defense should be on the minds of both of those teams from where I'm standing. So I like the under in that Pittsburgh game, although you have to be a little bit crazy in the head, I think, take any unders involving the Pittsburgh Penguins. And then here's one that I was curious your thoughts on. Blue Jackets and Devils. So on Sunday, I released a rare minus 150, typically, which is where I would just bet a team total. I just wanted to bet the Devils to win. They did get the job done. I kind of want to go back to them again, and they're relatively around the same ballpark price range here. I want their team total against Columbus here, and I'm seeing around plus 100. on the Devils. People are going to want to continuously bet on these teams that need to win these games, Jeff. We all know must win doesn't mean will win. That's the famous expression. I've learned that over the years. But, Columbus has been a fun story to watch. But I think Devils, they dropped 3 straight games since Jack Hughes went out. And then they get that spark. They win that game on Sunday. Man, they look good on Sunday as well. They played really well. I think they win again. What are your thoughts on that team total?
Yeah, I looked at that. They were minus 165 overnight, now 155 with the 6. It was over 15 cents. Now it's a flat 6. Looking at some team totals there. Give me 1 second there. Currently, plus 115 on one of our sites there for them to get to 4. Columbus 2.5 over minus 25 cents. Do they play that Martin Brodeur trap from back in the old days, or is this a throw the puck out and again, first 1 to 4 wins? So I like where your eyes are, definitely there. It wouldn't be fair without me throwing out. You're a short dog tonight at Vancouver. Vancouver right now, team total 3.5 under minus 155. If you wanted to get froggy there, the Canucks to get to 4 or better plus 135. But the number that really stuck out to me, Montreal team total 2.5 over minus 25 cents. If you like the Habs today, you can split up the play. You can get them as a nice dog to win the game. And then the other half of that unit, lay the 25 cents and say, hey, well, as long as they get to 3 tonight, at least worst case scenario, I get a push.
Jeff, it's always tough because when a team is coming off a game like they are, they lost 1-0, right? But they got goalied. Like, I watched that game. It was pretty funny. I had a friend over on the weekend who's a Leafs fan. So on one TV, we had the Colorado Avalanche and Maple Leafs that finished 7-4. And then one TV, the Habs game finished 1-0. So he's like, man, is your game going to have any action over there, or just my game going to have all the action, And of course, I wanted it on my Habs on the main TV. They got goalied, right? So the thing is, when a team gets goalied, can you expect them to, use that offense that you created in the previous game and bring that to the next game, or are you going to be frustrated? And the offensive struggles will continue into the next game. And how you and I have talked about. And I know this is a sore subject right now from yesterday, but how we've talked about how some of the higher priced first period overs can be more tricky than the lower price. This minus 115 is really intriguing for me with the first period over. Like, Vancouver is motivated as hell right now. Vancouver, like, the quotes I'm seeing from the coach, he just pretty much called out the whole roster. This guy's got to be better. This guy's got to earn his ice time. This guy's got to do this. And then for the Habs right now, they're sitting there saying, you know what? We didn't do enough. We didn't create. We didn't score. We didn't capitalize on our chances. I wouldn't be shocked to see both teams get on the board in the first period. I wouldn't be shocked to see the first period go over 1.5. But I do like that team total, like you were saying, over 2.5 for the Habs. They created a ton of chances, like one-timers, chances in the slot. But you know what kills them is Patrick Laine probably out again tonight. This guy's had the flu. I mean, look, you got to give me a break, all right? I'm going on about a week and a half for my flu, or a week and a couple of days. It's awful. It's awful. I don't like it. I had to miss your show last week. I was 10 minutes late for today. It's not good. But Patrick Laine has missed like 6 games with the flu. He had 25 games he missed with his knee injury. It's like this guy misses half the games, and he's healthy right now, supposed to be. So we miss him on the power play. I'll be up watching that game, but I'm going to be on the first period over 1.5. I think both teams score in the first period.
Got to give a shout out to Mr. Lucky himself as he's following us on the show. He actually said, my sources tell me home underdogs have been cash emoji with regularity. And then he just said, top quality power play. And he was talking about ourselves, of course, there. Thank you, Mr. Lucky, for all the love and support, and keep up your great work here. Colorado, Minnesota, Minnesota at home plays a different style, always seems to be low scoring games here. hosting the Avs on a back-to-back. If you like the Avs today, you can get their team total over 3.5 plus 125. Is that getting a little too greedy here, Andrew?
I mean, they're just an absolute wagon right now. There's nothing we could say besides that. I mean, this team looks great. This team looks like they're finding a way to win, even against bad teams and even against letdown spots. They're going to get the job done. What was it, 3-0 yesterday?
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. So, I mean, it wasn't the most like exciting thing to watch, but they didn't allow any goals. One note to mention on that game, Jeff, is that they started their number 2 yesterday, which we're starting to see a lot. Obviously because it was the Blackhawks probably, but in the front half of the back-to-back, they're starting their backup. The second half will be Blackwood. I wouldn't. You started off by talking about Minnesota defensively at home, and I know you went to the team total with Colorado. I wouldn't be shocked to see it under here, but it's hard to take an under in any Colorado game. Put it this way: if there's any time that I've ever even considered fading Colorado in the last 2 weeks, today was the day. But I don't think I'll get to the window. There's way better games to do than get excited about betting against that team right now.
I know you have another show coming up here. I always wrap up this segment telling everyone, obviously, they know they can find you at McInnis Picks, but we always wrap up this segment so you can tell everyone what you got at Wager Talk.
Well, we are off a stressful winner last night with the Maple Leafs. 3-0 lead and blow it, end up winning in a shootout. So that was a big play for us. And then today is $5 Tuesday. So we've got that one going on. Every play, every package available for just $5. And also have a promo code BIGBET20 will get you 20% off the full season or 30-day package for me in the NHL. So looking forward to it. Jeff, apologies for my tardiness. Let's cash some tickets tonight.
Andrew, I'm just glad to see you. Get back, get healthy, enjoy yourself, go to your next show. Tell Gabe and Cam tonight on Sports Grid I said hello, okay?
Will do. Hopefully I'm awake for that.
All right. You take care. Andrew McInnis, go follow him at McInnis Picks and, of course, at Wager Talk. We'll go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we got one of a few of the men in the box. I don't know who's showing up or not, but midweek baseball. I'm going to ask Nick, what about my Huskies? Take 2 out of 3 in Miami as they have their home opener back east. Hopefully it's warm enough for that. So stay tuned.
Jared, hey, we're going to need you to tone it down with the Summer Friday thing, okay?
What are you talking about?
Well, for one, it's not summer anymore.
Oh, really?
Coconut. Also, who is this?
I'm the caddy.
Oh, he's my intern.
Sorry, intern. I'm his intern.
Yeah, he's doing a great job.
No golfing in the office, okay? Summer Fridays are over. You can keep the Hawaiian shirt, but the rest of this stuff, all right? Are you grilling?
Oh, yeah. Did you want a burger or a hot dog?
No, grilling in the office.
It's a good point. We should take this outside.
No, that don't. You put that right back down.
Yo, it's all in the hips.
Oh, dude, come on, we gotta go. Let's go.
Well, we're starting, we've tried and for the most part succeeded on our midweek baseball show here. I like to get the boys in here to talk some of these games leading up to our other show for Friday Night Lights, of course. And what better way than to get yourself set up throughout the week, of course, than the NCAA Insiders here. And it looks like right now we have one of the three, so let's bring them in. Mr. Nick Hathcote. What's up, Nick?
How's it going, Jeff? Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited for this. Is one of the best Tuesdays of college baseball we have, schedule-wise. And then, yeah, obviously it leads into SEC play starting this weekend. Big 12 starts this weekend. And then obviously a lot to recap from what was a kind of wild previous upset-laden weekend that we just got through.
4 weeks. We got a month already in the books. And you know, I like to throw digs. My Huskies are slow starters. 2 weeks ago, they shocked the world and beat Vanderbilt. And then this week, they take 2 out of 3 at Miami. Were you surprised at all there, Nick, that they won that series?
I am. Well, a little bit. To win the series, no, but to win it how they did, yes. Because you think of Van Eman on Friday, didn't throw that well. And then Ian Cook on Saturday also gave up a lot of runs. And those are the kind of the two guys on the front end on the mound that they need to rely on this season to kind of get where they want to go. And with those two guys struggling, they still were able to win the series at Miami, which no matter Miami's flaws, that's still a long travel. That's still a tough place to win. And yeah, the way they did it, they just put up runs at will. So that was very surprising. So yeah, great for your Huskies. It's like we've been saying it. They do this every year where they start slow and then things kind of kick in gear. And then next week's gonna be another test. Next weekend they're at Campbell again, and then I think they have midweek they're at Duke, and then somebody at North Carolina as well. Like that's their Tuesday, Wednesday next week. So that is not going to be easy. So let's talk again and let's see how they do after the next week.
All right, bear with me here. I'm going to see if I can get creative. Bear with me, guys. See if I do this, and then I do this. Nope, that's not going to work. Bear with me. Let me see here. There we go. I'm going to go here, here, here. Nope, that didn't work. Hold on, guys. No, I'm going to go to here. All right, guys, we're back. Matt, how was the makeup, hair? Everything's good today?
Yeah, everything's good. I'm actually hiding out in the chapel at Children's Hospital while Cruz undergoes a little tube surgery. So you'll have to bear with me if the audio connection's not very good, but had to be here for a few minutes.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Thoughts and prayers for a quick surgery. Everything will be well. We were talking about my Husky shocking myself, of course, taking 2 out of 3 in Miami. We're a month in. What did your eyes see over the weekend that surprised you?
North Carolina may not be as good as what we thought. Miami, they aren't very good. I don't think, not to discredit your Huskies. And that kind of leads me into one of my plays today with UCF. I haven't seen enough out of Miami to be a believer. And like I said, not to discredit UConn because that was a big series win. I thought that between the pitching staff and the eliteness that Miami has been over the years, I really thought Miami would be able to handle UConn in that series, and they couldn't.
Nick, we talk every show. I just listen. What you guys have done in the first month, and of course, I'm talking about Tennessee, is second to none here. But this weekend, I can't wait for Friday when we talk Friday Night Lights. When we talk, conference time. Now it's time to really start playing baseball. Another weekend, another grand slam. I mean, it's just no hitter. Let's just throw a no hitter in there. Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, enough's enough here for the piling on. Talk about your Vols.
Yeah, they seem to be in midseason form. I know their schedule's not great, but it's still, I think they have the 4th best strength of schedule in the SEC so far. So it's not like they've been like one of the worst in the country. So their midseason form, like I said, I think they are ready for conference play, and we're going to find out quick because it's 2 top 10 teams facing each other. Glad they start at home, and we'll see what Florida has. Like Florida's missing possibly 2 starters. I know Pierce Capella is definitely out this weekend, and let's see who they throw on Sunday. It sounds like it depends on what Billy Barlow, who's going to start for them today against Florida State. If he goes an inning or 2, then I'd expect him to probably start on Sunday for Florida. And Tennessee is just going to kind of stick to the same thing. What I'm interested in, and I've talked about this for the last few weeks, freshmen are playing great, but that's also against, like I said, inferior competition, which they've seen pitchers like they have so far. They've seen them in travel ball. They've seen them in like higher high school where they came from. SEC is a whole different level. So let's see how they hit against like premier pitching, guys that are going to be drafted. And I think that will tell a lot about how the season is really going to go for Tennessee.
Matt, give us your usual 1-month report card for your Razorbacks, and what did you see over the weekend?
They took care of business against Portland, which was expected. Finished up a 10-game homestand today against UCA, who just dropped the series against Evansville. shout out Coach Carroll. I was down there for that game Saturday. It was a really entertaining series up until that game 3 where Evansville won 8-0. We should handle business. We're, I think, ranked 11th in Team Sierra right now, 8th in weighted runs created plus in the country. So a lot of good balance, a lot of the things that we typically try to pinpoint earlier in the season to project who's going to be in the College World Series. So it's always good to have a well-balanced team, but none other than Tennessee sits atop that list. Is I think they're number 2 and number 1 in the country in both of those stats. So obviously, like Nick said, SEC time is going to be big boy baseball. We'll see if they can do it against the elite competition, which Arkansas takes on Ole Miss this weekend in Oxford. So it should be a good series.
Well, I get some games, midweek games. Again, I don't have the full board. I am on Wager Talk as we speak right now, but there seems to be some great games here. I'm going to pull up Liberty traveling to Clemson. Florida State. Overnight, Florida State opened up -145, now -160 against the Gators. Wake Forest, Coastal Carolina, overnight, Wake Forest -115. Now 115 across the board at DraftKings. Kansas, Minnesota, that's all right. Grand Canyon at Oregon. You guys have talked at length about the Ducks here. Arizona State at home against Arizona. Nice little rivalry there. Currently, Arizona -145. But I think the game of the day, from what I see right here, UC Irvine, UCLA. UCLA opened up -120. Now UC Irvine -125. Nick, any of those games on your board and radar today?
So I will start with just to touch on the UC Irvine, just because you brought it up and you're obviously into it. That's going to be a tough one for UCLA, just because you think of it, they traveled to Maryland, took 2 or 3, and then just flew, all the way across the country. And now they have UC Irvine, who was at home against Long Beach, who they didn't look extremely impressive against. Like, their pitching staff struggled. Their offense, we know what their offense is. They're going to put up runs against anybody. So that's one to keep an eye on for sure. But there's not really a team I would really want to put money on there. One you didn't mention that I do have a play on is Oklahoma State is at Dallas Baptist. I think this line is flipped. I really think that Dallas Baptist should also absolutely be favored in this, especially at home. They're the better team. Even if it was neutral, they should be favored. I think this is one of those where the books kind of overlooked it and they saw the big name. They saw Oklahoma State used to be ranked, or they started the season ranked, and now they're not. Dallas Baptist, I get coming off a tough series at Louisiana, but they took care of their business. Now they're back home where they are extremely tough to beat there. That place is a bang box. Their roster is meant to hit home runs, and they do it a lot there. So I do think they take care of business, and that is going to be one of my plays today.
Yeah, Oklahoma State overnight -130. Now currently at DraftKings, Dallas Baptist -125. So good call on the flip and good eyes there. Mr. Grissom.
Yeah, I also like Dallas Baptist a lot. Like Nick said, Grant J, that whole team, they're built to hit Oklahoma State. And this is typically not really a strong handicap, just more of an opinion and things to watch. But I feel like whenever you've got a team that needs the big win, the RPI, they're going to take these midweeks a lot more serious, especially when you've got a Power 4 team that has a bigger name opponent coming in, or they're traveling on the weekend. You're going to be more reserved in your pitching, not going to throw your best guys. So it's typically that's where the starting point is for any handicap, which is kind of odd because and my camera is going to go away so I can pull up my notes. But I've got several plays, and I'm not really typically a midweek guy. So I mentioned UCF earlier. They've already beaten Florida 13-3 in a midweek, and same kind of mindset of they're going to take these games more serious. Miami coming off the series loss to the Huskies, like we talked about. So I'm on UCF. I'm on Dallas Baptist. Another one is Coastal Carolina, -110 versus Wake Forest. I wrote up that it's a pretty common trend that for whatever reason, the Deacons take midweek games lightly. They've already dropped a midweek to UNC Greensboro 0-4 earlier in the season. And interestingly enough, the Chanticleers have a 29-19 record over Wake Forest dating back to 97. I think Coastal cares more about this game. I think it means more for their RPI. So give me the Chanticleers as another a mid-major to upset a Power 4 team. And then last but not least, Minnesota, you kind of breezed by it, but I'm high on this Kansas Jayhawks team. Minnesota has a strength of schedule of 4. Meanwhile, Kansas is like 230 something. But Kansas 14-1 off to a really hot start. I think, though, they trip up against Minnesota. Minnesota coming off a series loss to Purdue over the past weekend. They did salvage to win game 3. That Purdue team is very, very good. Kansas is kind of skirted by a couple of tight games against pretty weak opponents. So I think Minnesota could get them here plus 110 on the Golden Gophers to beat the Jayhawks.
Nick, any closing thoughts?
Yeah, I'll give you a couple of parlay pieces that I have, just because they're games I really like, but they're obviously outpriced to play alone. I really like Oregon today against Grand Canyon. Now, don't lay low, and hopefully they don't sleepwalk through it, because Grand Canyon is a very good team. But they're coming off a sweep. They just swept Texas Tech, and now they're flying up from Arizona to Eugene with basically no days off. And that makes it tough, especially with the offense Oregon has, and you're throwing a midweek guy against them. So that's going to be extremely tough for them. And I also like USC as another one, and that's coming off getting swept by Oregon. And now they're playing a Cal State Fullerton team that is, sorry, Jeff, but not your Cal State Fullerton from the 90s. They are just, they are bad right now. I don't know what it is. Like everybody used to love, like even back when there was that college baseball video game in the early 2000s, Cal State Fullerton was a team to play with. And right now they're just on the struggle bus. And I get it's at Fullerton, but it's still not, it's not terrible travel. So yeah, I think USC is another good parlay piece that I'll end up looking for a place to play them.
Mr. Grissom, closing thoughts, sir.
I'm going to head out on this note a little early, but another one I looked at was George Mason plus 230 against Duke. Duke's off to an abysmal start. I think George Mason, their offense, if you haven't watched any of the games, which why would you? It's George Mason, but they're absolutely raking right now. Pretty hot offense again versus a Power 4 team that they would love to get a win. I think plus 230 is a little disrespectful, especially watching Duke and how they've struggled here to start the season.
As you leave here, give everyone where they can find all your work, Matt.
All this data that I've thrown out at you, strength of schedule, weighted runs created, everything, collegebaseballinsiders.com. It's absolutely free. There's no ads. You can hop on, handicap the game, look at starting pitching and estimations from games this week to the weekend to future games that may not even be played. So get on and have fun with that matchup preview, and follow me at Grissom on X. Jeff, thank you as always. We'll see you this weekend or Friday.
Yes, Matt. Have a great, great day. Prayers up, of course, and we'll catch you on Friday.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's Matt Grissom. Go follow him on X at Grissom on X. Nick, as we always wrap up this segment here, tell them where they can find your work, your plays, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, in Hathcote 413 on X is where I do most of my work here. Obviously, join our Discord. It's completely free. We keep getting people joining every week. Great chats that we have with people, and even if we aren't in them, other people are always in there talking to each other, fans of other teams. So it's a great spot. And then you can find my plays, Matt's plays, Q and Smitty. All of us are in the same Discord for one price. You can buy us for a week, a month, or for the season. And as we've had people tweet out for us that, like, we don't even have to tweet it out, that they've made their money back, like over this past weekend. They paid for a full season and they made their money back in 2 to 3 days. So it's completely worth it. That's obviously linked on our NCAA Insiders Twitter handle. So you can go there and just click it, easy to join. And all of our stats are kept in there as well. So you can see how successful we all are. So yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I'm so excited for today. And then, yeah, like Matt said, we'll obviously talk to you Friday morning with a weekend preview that should be something where there's going to be a lot to talk about.
Well, Nick, we can't thank you enough, and love the midweek here. A good jump start to get us through the week to Friday Night Lights. Of course, you guys will be back at 11:05 on Friday. Best of luck today and throughout the week, and we'll see you on Friday.
Appreciate it, Jeff.
Take care. Nick Hathcote, go follow him, of course, on the Twitter at Hatcoat 413. Shout out to Quentin Mills on assignment, and of course, Mr. Grissom. Thank you so much for popping in for a few minutes here. Thoughts and prayers go out to you, your son, your family for successful surgery today or this morning. Quick commercial break and we'll wrap it up. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Good Food. At Atlanta Steaks and Seafood, you'll find the highest quality meats from a variety of delicious cuts, tomahawks, salmon fillets, ribeyes, and plenty more to choose from. With an easy-to-use mobile-friendly website, selecting your pick of meat is made quick and easy. And don't forget, worrying about your dinner is a thing of the past. Check out some of the amazing subscription packages that Atlanta Steaks and Seafood has to offer. From fresh steak and seafood straight to your door. Order online at atlantasteaksandseafood.com.
Great way to start the midweek here, MIDWEEK Baseball, NCAA Baseball. Make sure you go follow them, of course, at the NCAA Insiders. Go check out Matt, Quentin, and Nick's, all their work. Amazing. This is our third year of shows with him. Shout out to Andrew McInnis, who came in. Quick NHL recap as he's live right now on Wager Talk. You can go follow him there. I think me and Andrew are on year 4 or 5 of shows, whether it's NHL, whether it's World Juniors, whether it's Canadian Football League, whatever it is, me and Andrew. Tuesdays on my channel, Fridays on his channel there as well. ECSI VIPs, tough night last week. We had Wolford plus a half first half last night. Up 13, up 15. Box to wire lead throughout the whole first half. They were leading for 19 minutes and 26 seconds, and we got beat at the wire there. And the again, as I said earlier, Ottawa team total over loses there, and then we had the first period over in the Orioles, Oilers and Sabres that was a loss. So a tough start to the week. We've had some bad luck. I was going to do a little rant here. Shout out to Big Cat Barstools. The streak is over. Had 116 in a row. Comes up short last night. When you're running well, you get all the breaks and the bounces. And for us, we haven't been on those breaks and bounces, whether it was last Thursday, losing on a half-court shot for a first-half play. Whether it was Sunday, we had Colin Morikawa pre-flop at 18.5-1, leading going into Sunday. 3-shot lead on the front 9, 2-shot lead with 5 holes to go. And Henley, off the fringe, hits a 54-footer for eagle to win the tournament. Last night, Wolford. So again, if you can maintain water and then those, those bad breaks are supposed to even out. That's what it's all about on the marathon there. So if you're interested in reaching out to us, you can head on over to our website at eastcoastsportsinvestors.com. Scroll up to the top right, plans and price, and scroll all the way down. For as little as $3 a day, you can get every one of our plays sent to your cell phone via text and email. No timestamps. Once something hits the desk, it's in your hands. Tomorrow, 11 a.m., Brady Cannon will be here for the Players Big Boy Tournament again, as we are less than a month away from the Masters in Augusta there. And then following up, hopefully, Tyler Wyatt and Tyler Wyatt Bets at Odds Culture. Had some knee problems, hoping that he'll be able to squeeze us in. So, but again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, jump on over to YouTube at East Coast Sports Investors. Subscribe, it's free. Head on back to Twitter at EC Sports Invest. Follow us, we'll follow you back. Send me a DM with any questions, comments, concerns. Till then, have a blessed day. Enjoy the badness, and we will see you soon.